I feel like Dark Souls and FromSoft games in general have permanently fucked up my ability to enjoy other games. Like, I'll boot something up and I'll get maybe 10 minutes in and I'll just be sitting there like, this is fine. And that's kind of my problem. Because Souls games don't feel fine. They feel like you're surviving something. Everything else feels like being gently escorted through an experience, whereas Souls games feel like you're being thrown down a flight of stairs and told to figure it out on the way down. But apparently that's my thing now. And the worst part is, I didn't even like these games at first. When I first found Dark Souls 1, it was in a Walmart bargain bin when I was a kid. And that already kind of feels like a red flag. But I took it home, I booted it up, and I immediately hated it. Not because it was hard, but because the co-op system felt like I needed a fucking ritual circle and a blood sacrifice just to play with somebody. I think I was like 11, and I was trying to play it with my uncle because it said co-op on the back, but I ended up returning it and I wrote it off completely. And honestly, that probably would have been the end of it, until Bloodborne showed up. And Bloodborne did not play fair. Because now it wasn't just a hard game. Now it was a hard game that hit every theme that I was super into at the time. The horror, the cosmic horror, and everything just feeling sick and decaying, the gothic atmosphere. I'm a sucker for every element of Bloodborne. And so now I'm getting my ass kicked again, but this time I'm leaning forward instead of leaning back. And eventually that leads me to this moment that just flipped a switch for me. Fucking Father Gascoigne. This dude beat the personality into me. I was stuck on him for like a way longer time than I probably should have been. Long enough that the game probably considered refunding itself. But when I finally beat him, something clicked. I didn't feel lucky. I didn't feel like the game eased up. I felt like I finally understood what it wanted from me. And once that feeling hits you, you don't really go back. Because now you're chasing it. And that's where things start to change. Because it's not just about beating a boss, it's about proving to yourself that you've actually improved. And the game reinforces that in a really simple, kind of brutal way. Every time you mess up, it doesn't stop you, it doesn't correct you, it just lets you fail. And because of that, you start approaching things differently. Instead of button mashing or hoping it works this time, you start paying attention, spacing, timing, patience, which naturally leads into the loop that basically defines these games. You go in, you die, you go back, you adjust, you go in again. And the important part isn't just that you're retrying, it's that you're changing something every time. You're not hoping it works, you're making it work. And once your brain locks into that mindset, that's it, you're cooked. Because now every other game has to compete with that feeling, and most of them just don't. And don't get it twisted, I'm not sitting here pretending like I've mastered these games. There's still stuff that absolutely ruins me. Case in point, parrying. I cannot parry. I do not parry. Parrying is something that I have just accepted that it exists for other people. I am so bad at parrying that while I was streaming, I had a sign made that says, just parry the blow. Every time I try it, I immediately get slapped like a bitch. It got so bad on my streams that it became a running joke. Chat would yell out, just parry him, just parry him. And I'm like, oh, you want me to die faster? Got it. Which becomes a real problem when you realize that a whole game is built around that mechanic. Sekiro. Sekiro looked at me and said, hey, you know that thing you're terrible at? That's the whole experience now. I don't think I've even seen the first real boss of Sekiro. I've just seen visions of my own failure. I boot it up, I die a few times, I sit there quietly, and then I close the game like I walked into the wrong house. Meanwhile, I've beaten Malenia like 5 times. So clearly something is broken, and it's me. This is where the Souls games start to really mess with you long term. Because once you get used to that kind of feedback loop, you really start to notice when it's missing. I'll go play something else, die, come back, do the exact same thing, and it just suddenly works. And I'm sitting there like, what changed? Did I improve? Or did the game just decide to let me win this time? And that uncertainty kills the satisfaction. Because now I'm not sure that I've earned anything. And that's why a lot of these combat systems just don't hit the same anymore. Stuff that used to feel fine feels floaty and weightless. Like I'm swinging through enemies instead of actually hitting. That's why I struggle with games like Valhalla or Odyssey. Not because they're unplayable, although they kind of are, but because the combat doesn't just have any impact. There's no tension, there's no oh shit moment. The animations and numbers, they're just there. And once you've felt Souls combat, that difference is hard to ignore. And then Elden Ring shows up, and that just makes the whole problem permanent. I've got, thousands of hours in Elden Ring, and I still haven't platinumed it. I probably won't platinum it, because the second I do, I'm gonna feel like I've finished it for real. And I'm not ready for that. Because Elden Ring isn't just a game I played, it's a place that I go back to. And the reason I keep going back is, those moments that sink in. Beating Radahn. Malenia, Placidusax. These aren't just boss fights, they're events. You beat something and you just sit there in silence like, holy shit. And once you've had enough of those moments, everything just starts to feel quieter. I think that's what it really comes down to. Souls games don't adjust to you. They expect you to adjust to them. Everyone gets the same experience. The same difficulty, the same rules, and it works, because people rise to it. Not to throw my wife under the bus, because she's not really a gamer, but she's beaten parts of Elden Ring that have stopped a lot of players cold, because she stuck with it. And that's all these games really ask of you. So yeah, Souls games have just changed what I expect from gaming. I want weight, I want challenge, I want to feel like I actually accomplished something. And once you get used to that, it's hard to go back to not having that. So now every time I start a new game, I've got that voice in my head going, is it gonna hit the same? And if it doesn't, I can feel myself checking out. Souls games didn't break gaming, but they have raised the bar so high that a lot of stuff just doesn't clear it anymore. And honestly, I'm fine with that. So long as you don't ask me to play Sekiro. Okay, bye.